What's up guys, it's Case and I'm back for a KTA Monthly Madness for June. We're in June now. We're halfway throughout the year, the sixth month. So this is going to be a little long. It's more of just a discussion as well as an update kind of thing. Basically, E3 2015 just kicked off. I'm going to be spinning this pen around a lot. I've made a list of all the games here that were showed at E3 or like announced gameplay and things like that. Okay, so first up, Halo 5. Let's start off with Halo. A bit of Halo. I love Halo. Halo 5 Guardians is a thing because they brought out Halo 4 and it carried on Master Chief's story, and in Halo 5 Guardians, not a lot is known about the story. All we know that is a chief has gone AWOL now. So that, if you don't know what AWOL means, is if you're in the military and you leave without being told you're allowed to leave, then you're basically listed as AWOL and you will end up with consequences. And in the UNSC, the consequences are you're gonna get shot in the face. So they get a guy from Oni who's now a Spartan called John. I think his name's, I don't know what his first name is, but his last name's Locke. So he's Spartan Locke, and he's created a team called Team Osiris of 4 people. And one of those people is Edward Buck from ODST, and they are now hunting down the Master Chief. And I think the Chief is trying to search answers for the Guardian, or whatever it's called. I think it's like a Forerunner artifact kind of being. I don't know what it is yet. We don't really know much about the story. All we know is there's a lot of gameplay stuff. And apparently the Chief's got his own team as well of 3 other people from Blue Team, which personally I think doesn't make sense because the novels and that, apparently Chief is supposed to be the last Spartan 2, and these guys from Blue Team, like I think Linda for example, or Kelly, they were Spartan 2s with Chief when he grew up and stuff as well. So the gameplay was pretty good. You got some, showed off some of the sprint abilities, some of one of the new weapons. It was a plasma charger or something. It was like a grenade launcher version of it was like the concussion rifle from Halo Reach, if I'm honest, but you can charge it up and make it a bit more explosive. There was some new enemies, some new Forerunner enemies, some new vehicles and stuff that were flying around. Like, there was a new Forerunner ship flying around, and it was a lot going on at once. It was hard to take in. Apparently it's 4-player co-op during the campaign and stuff again now, just like Halo 3 started off with. And they showed off a new mode that allows you to scan the area and look for clues. So it's pretty cool. Go and check that out. You can pretty much just search it on YouTube. I'm not going to link these trailers and stuff, by the way, that I'm showing, because it's a lot of work. I'm going through a lot of games. Next, Fallout 4, which I think was probably one of the biggest things for me at E3 this year. My god, Todd Howard delivered on that. Basically, Fallout 4, you actually play the pre-nuclear bit as well as the bombs are dropping in Fallout 4. You go to the vault, you create your character, you create your stats and stuff, your name and things, you go through a bit of your day-to-day life, you sign up for Vault Tech, and then you're off to the vault when the bombs are dropping, and then you emerge 200 years later apparently as the sole survivor of Vault 111. You meet a dog and stuff, and you're off on your journey, and apparently the game is huge. Boston is running on a brand new engine. Apparently there's crafting now as well. The dog companion thing was cool actually. Let's just start off with that. There was a dog you met. He can now, he looks like a permanent companion. I don't know whether he can die. Hopefully he can't, because I remember back in Fallout 3 when Dogmeat died and I had a little funeral for him and everything. It was really sad. Yeah, you can order your dog around to go and gather supplies. You can tell him where to go, who to attack, what to do. You can tell him to stay and wait. It's like a normal companion kind of thing. I think they've brought some of those kind of things from the companions in Skyrim. There was crafting now as well. You can dismantle in certain parts of the game. I think it's a bit like Hearthstone in Skyrim's reference, where there's certain areas you can do this in and you can't just tear down any old house. But apparently you can tear down things and use the resources from those things to craft better things, and you can make your own little settlement and stuff and defend it from raiders and things like that. And you can invite more people to trade and stuff, like merchants and things like that, which is fantastic. You can have more personalization in your Fallout world. And then they announced the Pip-Boy is going to be in the collector's edition, which I am getting. There's a picture of it here. You can get your own Pip-Boy. It's about £120. That's the UK price. You can wear it on your arm, and it actually works. You can insert your phone into the thing. There's going to be an app on day launch of Fallout. You don't need the Pip-Boy, but if you want to be a bit more immersed in the world of Fallout, then you can wear this Pip-Boy on your arm and put your phone into it, and you can use it as a second screen experience with, I think, with Xbox, where you can wear it on your arm and it can now use the Pip-Boy interface in your game to manage your inventory while you play, which I think is like an amazing invention. That's just a great idea, and it's so immersive and just a fantastic gameplay element to Fallout 4. They're also releasing an iPad, a mobile game, an iOS game. It's on iOS at the moment. It's called it's called Fallout Shelter, where you're the overseer of your own little vault. You can create a little civilization and level up people and create babies and stuff like that. It's pretty cool. Doom got announced as well at the well, it got showed off at the Bethesda briefing, which was impressive. It's very fast, you know. This game's been going since 1992 or 3, I think, and it's staying true to its roots. There's now executions, fast gameplay, new enemies, loads more demons, and you get ready to go into hell, new weapons and things. It's really cool, and it does look very pretty for next gen. I call them next gen still, even though they are current gen now, the Xbox One and the PS4. Dishonored 2 got announced as well at the Bethesda briefing, which is pretty cool. I think it got leaked a day before during their test, their live stream test, which kind of sucks. I kind of knew it was coming, but yeah, it looks interesting. You can play as a woman now, and you can play as Corvo if you want to from the original, and you're in like a lakeside city now, which is kind of gives it a different kind of element to it. And there's like new robots and things that are trying to stop you and things like that. Black Ops 3 got shown off at Sony's briefing, which was weird. They have now created a partnership with Sony. They used to have it, they've had it for the past few years with Microsoft, where so the Xbox and Microsoft customers got DLC a month earlier than everyone else on PC and PlayStation 4, but now it's switched. PlayStation 4 has that, and they're going to be getting exclusives. I think Sony tended to boast a bit about their exclusivity, because they've got exclusives to Destiny and a ton of other games, Assassin's Creed and stuff, and Batman apparently, which is out next week. I'm really excited. It's out a week today. I'm really looking forward to Batman. I may post some gameplay, we'll see how it goes. I will probably do an unboxing video actually. I might do that because I'm getting the special edition. So yeah, Black Ops 3, they showed off multiplayer and single player co-op. Now, co-op's 4-player, I wasn't very impressed, to be honest. I was looking forward to Black Ops 3 because I love the Black Ops series, and Treyarch do Call of Duty really well, I think. But I wasn't very impressed with the single player, with the co-op, because there was a lot going on and they kept switching to different characters' points of view, and you didn't know where they were or what the objective was. They didn't build it up, they didn't say what was happening. It was just like a mech trying to kill everyone and a ton of enemies rushing them. It just didn't seem... There was loads of stuff. They didn't have a guy on stage playing it like they used to do, explaining what was happening or what's happening in the story or anything. We don't even know what the story is about. All we know is it's set in like the very distant future. But yeah, they showed off a multiplayer trailer as well, which is pretty cool because the beta's close and we'll be playing that soon. I think they announced the beta is in August, maybe? I can't remember. Maybe September. But the multiplayer looks fast, it looks frantic. There's like a boost move now, so it's fluid. It just seemed a bit Advanced Warfare-y, but still... It looks better than Advanced Warfare. It looks more fun, but they've brought specializations back, which I'm not sure how I feel about that yet, because I didn't really like them in the Modern Warfare series. But we'll see how it plays out, especially in the beta, so I'll probably be putting footage of the beta up when that's launched anyway, so we can move into that at some point. Plus there'll be people with hands-on, because the multiplayer was playable at E3 this week, so people I'm sure will be talking about it. Assassin's Creed Syndicate, that was a weird one as well. I'm super excited for the game, I'm loving the timeline, I'm loving the characters, I'm loving the world. But just the way they did it at E3 this year, they didn't really release gameplay, I think, not during a conference anyway. They were at the Ubisoft conference and the Sony conference. At the Ubisoft conference they showed off the CGI trailer, which was weird because usually they get a CGI trailer before anything else and we see what the new Assassin's like and stuff, which is weird because like about a month ago they announced the game on a live stream and it was impressive. The gameplay looked really cool, but they showed off a lot and they explained a lot, but then at E3 they had like barely anything to show. I think they just showed it and threw it all into the live stream last month. I think it would have been better if they put the CGI trailer at the live stream and talked about the character and the story and left the gameplay for E3, so that way just do it how they've usually done it, you know, like keep us like used to how we take our information in at E3, especially with all these other games. You know, you want to be remembered, and I don't think the CGI trailer was very memorable, to be honest. It wasn't the best one they've done, and you know, it was a bit disappointing. They released like a 4-minute gameplay trailer on YouTube, a gameplay demo, which looks great. Like, you're fighting on top of trains and carriages and things, and the new moves and some of the new you know, the grapple ability and the zipline ability was shown off. But they could have shown either that on stage, or they could have, you know, just shown a bit more instead of just saying, you know, Sony's getting some exclusive content and here's a CGI trailer. I feel like a bit let down by that, but it's still one to watch this year. I'm still excited. I've pre-ordered my special edition. Hopefully they can redeem themselves from the terrible atrocity that was Unity. Where we're up to Firewatch, that was a small, I heard they debuted that last year, trailer, and it looked interesting. Like, you're a fire watchman or something in the distance and some weird shit's going on, and they showed some gameplay of that. It's going to be a PS4 PC exclusive. It's not going to be on the One, which sucks, but I'm glad I've got my PS4 now. So I like the art style, and I like the way the gameplay looks. The story is very intriguing. I want to know more. They did that last year though, and they left it, so that's kind of cool. For Honor, which is a new game by Ubisoft. The guy who came out and debuted that was brilliant. I think he should do more like conferences in the future, because that guy was funny and he was cool. But they showed off, it's more like a medieval slash samurai slash Viking-y type game, like a combat game. At first, the way he was describing it, how you can feel the weight of the weapon in your hand and feel the clash against other steel and stuff like that. At first I thought it was explaining, like, it sounded like it was going to be a first-person game, but it's not. It's a third-person game. It's online. It looks good. The combat looks like realistic and gruesome, which is always good. So I'm looking forward to seeing more of that. I think that comes out this year as well. Gears of War 4 got shown off. Now, I was hoping Black Tusk, or should I say Coalition now, because they've changed their name last week, which is a bit of a last-minute thing before E3. But yeah, Rob Ferguson's in the lead development of that, which is good. So it's in good hands. It's in an original Gears creator's hands with other people from Epic who went to form Black Tusk. So it's, sorry, Coalition now. The game looks interesting. I don't know why it's called Gears of War 4. It's not a sequel. It's part of a different timeline of, you know, the war on Serra, and it just, you know, it looks fantastic. It looks dark. It looks horror styled again, like the first one used to be. It was dark and evil and like, oh my god, you know, lots of shit's happening. There was new enemies, some new moves and stuff, and new characters. The main character JD, he seemed pretty cool. He's likable, so you know, probably not Marcus Phoenix level, but we'll see. And apparently there's going to be a beta early next year, because it comes out in 2016. So there's going to be a beta if you buy the Ultimate Edition of Gears of War 1, which is a remaster, which they also announced. I think it got leaked last week, about a month ago. But it's a remastered re-envision of the first Gears of War, because it's 10 years. 10 years since the first Gears of War came out. I'm happy. Also, they gave everyone access to a beta, as far as I know. I've got a beta code where you can play the original multiplayer but remastered, so that's pretty cool. I'll be checking that out later. I may upload some gameplay as well. Hitman got announced, which I was super excited to hear from Square Enix and IO Interactive, because they said they were working on a new Hitman game since Absolution, and apparently it's like I don't know what to make of it. There's no like walkthrough demo or anything. There's just a gameplay trailer and a CGI trailer, and I think it's going to be some more exclusive content to Sony again. I'm not sure, but yeah, they announced that it's going to be like a competitive type Hitman where you do it your own way. The maps are huge compared. It's more open world now compared to set levels, and I'm looking forward to seeing 47 back in action. That's pretty cool. Horizon was an exclusive that got announced and debuted with a demo at the Sony conference for PlayStation 4. It's kind of like what happens if our civilization fell, and then, like, say 2,000 years from now, back to the caveman age, and so it was basically like tribal warfare against Dinobots, which was weird. Like, mechs and robots roam the wastes of what was once our Earth, and there's like tribes and stuff fighting them with bows and arrows and electrical components and stuff like they've salvaged, which was really cool. It was very pretty, and the gameplay looked solid. It looked like a really good, like, exclusive. They had a good few exclusives at the Sony conference this year, and I was really excited to see that. I was into that. It looked cool, so I'll probably be picking that up. Maybe we can do a let's play in it when it comes out. So I don't know whether that was this year. I can't remember whether they announced a release date, but because it was late last night. It was 2 AM in the morning when they started last night. Mass Effect Andromeda got announced, which is basically Mass Effect 4. It didn't show much. I was a bit disappointed because last year they showed a dev diary kind of video showing that they're working on a new Mass Effect, and then this year, a whole year later, they just showed a CGI trailer that lasted like 2 minutes of an N7 soldier just like flipping through. Hopefully BioWare needs to give us some more. I feel like they didn't really show much, so it's kind of a bit disappointing in my mind. I'm excited for it, and it took a while to learn how to pronounce Andromeda. It's spelled Andromeda, it's weird. So yeah, that's cool. EA also showed off Need for Speed. Now that's a big franchise for personally, I've bought like nearly every single one over the past 20 years, and it's a reboot now. It's just called Need for Speed, there's no subtitle. They're going back to the roots of what people liked, urban, like illegal street racing and stuff, with some car chases thrown in there for police chases, sorry, and the full customization again, so that's awesome. The gameplay looks fantastic. It's running on Frostbite 3, 4, whatever engine. I think it's Frostbite 4 now. It looks fantastic, it looks realistic. I like the drifting, I like the way the camera, it's gonna be hard to get used to it, but the camera like tilts when you turn, so it's kind of like more immersive, but I think that looks fantastic. I liked how quick it was and easy it was to customize, and it was fluid and it was fast to get into like the gameplay, and you can just hook up with your friends online and stuff like that. It's basically Underground 3 is what we've been asking for, and it's kind of like a hybrid between everything that's made Need for Speed good over the past 20 years and a bit of Underground thrown in there, so I'm looking forward to that. I'm definitely picking that up this year. Mirror's Edge also showed off as well. A bit of gameplay finally. We know that EA have been working on it for a while, and they just brought out a trailer last year saying, yeah, it's going to come out when it's finished. We saw some gameplay. It looks fantastic. The Frostbite engine again, it's running really good. I'm really happy for it. I'm really happy about it. And Faith is back, but it's not a sequel. I think it's kind of like a prequel kind of thing, but something else. You're still playing as Faith and you're unraveling her story about her life, but I'm really happy about that, and I can't wait to play that game because Mirror's Edge was fantastic, the first one, and it's a great game, so I'd definitely check it out. It can be frustrating though because the controls weren't great, but the new one looks awesome. Rise of the Tomb Raider got showed off at E3 as well, at the Microsoft conference. Obviously we got some gameplay for that, and the gameplay looks fantastic. She was climbing an ice wall during a storm and stuff with a friend. It was tense, and it was like dramatic and building with the environment, and the game looks stunning. The new engine, I'm looking forward to seeing what I think Square Enix are making that as well, so I'm looking forward to seeing that. Oh no, it's Crystal Dynamics I think, or someone, I can't remember, but it looks good. I'll definitely check that out. We all love a little bit of Lara Croft. I think she's cut her hair short as well, which is weird. It's a new look for Lara, but that's pretty cool. South Park The Fractured Butthole, or I should say The Fractured Butthole, is probably the best game title in a while. Trent Reznor and Matt Stone came out on stage, and they're making another South Park RPG along the lines of Stick of Truth, but instead of it being like elves and wizards and stuff this year, it's fucking superheroes. So you'll see the Coon, Cartman, and Professor Chaos and stuff like that, which looks fantastic. The trailer was fucking funny. They were like, oh shit, we're playing a different game now and stuff. They said they weren't going to do a new one, but I think that's just to bring up more of an illusion that that there's a new one coming out. I had no idea when the game opened up. I was like, oh, that's cool, what is it? Oh, it's South Park, because there's Cartman, and talking about the Stick of Truth being just like thrown around and stuff. Fantastically written and very funny, and I loved Stick of Truth. I still have it. It's probably one of the best games of 2014, so yes, that's a yes. Star Wars Battlefront, which was what most people were there for this year. EA and DICE have been working hard like crazy. Like a few weeks ago, they showed off a demo for what the engine and the tech can do in the game, the Frostbite engine and stuff like that, which looked fantastic. But I was like, I want to see some gameplay, because that's not what the game's going to look like. That's what the game looks like. The gameplay looked fantastic. It looked phenomenal. Loads of people are saying, it's just a Battlefield reskin, but that doesn't matter when it's Star Wars. I think, Battlefield and Star Wars could go together very well, and you can play third person, first person. You can control AT-ATs. You can control like Darth Vader and go toe to toe with Luke and stuff like that in the middle of a battlefield. They showed off gameplay of it, the demo on Hoth. It was fantastic. You could pilot the fucking I think they're like you can pilot X-Wings and TIE Fighters and stuff again. You can trip up the AT-ATs just like they did in the movie on Hoth. You can do loadouts, customization of your character and stuff like that. You can play as the Imperial or the Rebels. It just has everything that you'd want from a Star Wars game. and then they showed off like a few glimpses of other maps and stuff that is in the game. It just looks awesome. They also announced like a co-op survival mode as well. It's called Missions, I think, where you get like you crash and burn on like Tatooine, for example, and then you got to defend yourself until extraction and things like that, and disarm bombs and things. It was just a great time, and I was super happy that they showed that off. Also, I was happy they showed off The Division as well, because I'm glad we're showing that every year. We got a release window as well. It's coming out March next year. I knew it had been delayed because that tech is so far along. It truly looks like a next generation game, just like Star Wars. Like, the graphics were amazing on both games. I'm glad that they showed that off with Ubisoft and stuff. Apparently there's a new thing called the Dead Zone, where it's kind of like a hardcore mode where other players can go in as well, and you can betray your friends and betray other players and things like that just for the loot, because I guess it was like a mode where you went to like a harder zone where anything can happen, but you could get great loot from it if you survive and get out alive. So you could use the loot that you've earned in the full game. I think that's a brilliant idea. It gives it more of a depth and more of a tense feeling to that kind of game, and I think that's what it needed. So I'm super excited that The Division's out. I think that's also out next year as well, early next year, so we're going to get some good games. It's not this year, you know, they get pushed back. Oh, sorry, no, Star Wars is this year. My bad. Star Wars is November this year, which kind of makes it unrealistic, like, if you think about it. Like, it's incredible that games like that good are coming out so soon, but also there's the bad side of the fact that you want every game and it's all out in the same 2 months. So also we got The Last Guardian. That is like a myth. It was like a myth at that stage, I think, where they showed that game off like 8 years ago at E3 and then nothing. People were like, is it cancelled? Is Sony still working on it? Is Japan Studio still making it? You know, I remember watching the demo years ago, and it was like, we haven't seen this game in so long. And then like the president of Sony came out and he's like, oh yeah, we've got a game that we're working on, we're proud to show it you. And then it was The Last Guardian. They opened the Sony conference with that. I think that's incredible. Sure, it's like the same kind of level that they showed off 6 to 8 years ago, but it looks like it's running smooth and it's working, and it still looks as pretty as it ever did, and like incredibly like impressive. I think these are the guys who made Shadow of the Colossus and Ico, and they are just fantastic games. They're like legendary games, like historic, and to open with a myth like that, that's pretty impressive. So that comes out next year as well on the PS4, so it's good to know they've got it working. I think that was the reason why they couldn't release it or tell anyone, because they tried running it on the PS3 tech and it just wasn't working. Rainbow Six Siege got showed off again. Looking forward to that game. The destructibility, the SWAT, the 5v5. This time they announced Terror Hunts coming back from the original, from the Rainbow Six series, the Vegas series, where you can basically, you and your friends can go in and you just gotta hunt down all the terrorists and take them out, or disarm the objective like bombs and things. So it was more destruction, more tactical gameplay, more cooperative like teamwork, and it looked good. And there's a beta coming out. I think the beta's already been out on PC, but I think they're releasing one on console soon, and the game comes out at the end of the year, so I'm always up for a good Tom Clancy game. I'm really excited that got showed off as well. And they also showed off Ghost Recon Wildlands, which was weird. I thought it was like a Devil's Cartel kind of thing, the trailer they were showing, but then it was gameplay. It wasn't CGI, which was impressive because it looked realistic. And then I was like, what the hell is this game? It looks really cool, but it's like in like mountainsides and open environments, like a huge scope world, military kind of, not like rebel-ish, cartel-y kind of thing. And there was vehicles and dune buggies and ATVs and stuff going across the hills and the mountains, and tracking down cargo trucks and blowing up shit, and like being tactical with your friends and stuff. And the gameplay just seemed like Ghost Recon, and I was like, it's not Ghost Recon, but then it was. They announced the trailer and it was Ghost Recon, and it looked fantastic. And that's coming out next year as well, so it's good to know they're working on another Ghost Recon. It's not like the Future War Soldier, the Future Soldier series, who can turn invisible and stuff, but I think that's the thing with Ghost Recon. You can kind of put it in any kind of like environment and genre and storyline, and it'll still be great. That's kind of the good thing about Ghost Recon. As long as it's like 4-player tactical co-op kind of stuff, then you're good with the Ghost Recon game. Same like Rainbow Six is nowadays. No Man's Sky got shown off at E3 on the Sony conference. I think it's a Sony PS4 exclusive. I think it's going to be on PC, Steam as well, but not the Xbox, which kind of sucks because it's a great game. It's talked about And I want to say, I'm hugely impressed with the guys who are making that game. One of the developers came out. Now there's like 6 guys, I think in New Zealand or Switzerland or something, somewhere in Europe or wherever. They're just 6 friends were working on this in an office upstairs. Then their office got flooded and stuff, and it kind of sucked and like, or whatever, so they had to relocate, but they didn't lose any of the tech or any of the game, so which is really good. It's good to back up your shit, kids. But yeah, this guy came out and he said, because our game's like randomly generated, we're just going to put our faith in it and we're going to go to a random planet. He showed off how many planets there are, and it's like infinite. You could go to any planet anywhere, you can jump to, like, and you don't know what you're going to find. And I like how he put his faith into the game. Like, he said, this isn't scripted, we haven't prepared this, we're just going to go into it and see what we find. And he landed on a planet, and there was some alien life and some enemies and stuff, and there was a beacon where you had to upload your research and findings, and there was a bit of space combat as well. I think that's really, it takes guts, that, plus the fact that he's never been on stage before, like, talking about his game. He seemed a bit nervous, but props to the guys who are making No Man's Sky. I think they're called Hello Games. Props to you guys, because you're doing a great job, and you're doing what you believe, and you haven't given up, and you're under a lot of stress and pressure, I can believe, to make this great game, and people love it. And you blew my mind, guys. You definitely got my money for that when it comes out on PlayStation. I'll definitely buy your game, because that game looks fantastic. It looks like there's loads of replayability, and apparently in a tech demo or something, or an interview I saw with Jeff Keighley, where they said, like, if you find a species, no one else will have found it. You can name your species, you can upload it, and then people may come across, like, 1 or 2, like in 1,000 may come across your planet and find things you've named. So you can name species and stuff in your game and make it personal and share that with the world. I think that's a really clever idea, and you know, it'll keep people interested for a long time. So congratulations to you guys. I think you guys were one of the best at E3 this year. They showed off some Uncharted 4 gameplay at the Sony game, the conference. They closed with that, and I'm really impressed by how Uncharted 4 looks. It is the reason I bought a PS4 early this year, just after Christmas. I'm happy with my, you know, I don't play it often. I just play the exclusives, like, you know, on my channel, like Bloodborne and The Order. I usually main my Xbox, but I am buying the Uncharted Drake collection so I can play 1, 2, and 3 again, and I'm buying Uncharted 4. That game looked funny. The banter between Sully and Drake throughout the level, you know, the destructibility, tiles flying off the wall next to him while he's trying to shoot in cover and things, like sandbags like lower him with the sand losing, just the particle effects and everything. It's so detailed, and that's what you get from Naughty Dog, and that's why I love them. They made Last of Us and it was so detailed, and now they're making Uncharted 4 and it's fantastic. Even though they said, you know, Drake's story's ended, but it's not. He's got a brother and shit now and crazy. Just looked fantastic, and I'm super excited. Thank you, Sony, and fucking Naughty Dog, keep up the work, man. You guys are one of the best developers. You've been going with like Crash Bandicoot and stuff for years. You've been with Sony for a long time, and I think you deserve it. You guys are great. Also, Unravel. That was an EA game. EA showed off an Unravel. It's an indie game about this guy who was on his holiday with his family, and then he just started playing with a ball of yarn or something and connecting their lives. I don't really know what was going on there, but the game looked cool. It was very pretty, and the gameplay looked good. It's like a 2D platformer kind of thing. It was very impressive, and I liked how it looked like you have to use your yarn and stuff to like kind of like navigate the level and things like that. So it was fantastic. So Halo showed off a new game mode called Warzone for multiplayer, Halo 5, where basically, I don't know how many, I think it's 8v8 or something, or 12v12, but also with AI, so there's like bots and stuff in the game as well, like Covenant and stuff shooting you. There's objectives, there's armories, there's like vehicle depots to take over. The maps are like bigger, like 4 times bigger than any Halo map. So there's a lot going on, and it's things like the first to 1,000 points, or to destroy the armor core, the base core for the other team. But to get access to the core, you have to control 3 points on the map as well. So like you could teamwork and go for that, or you could just go for kills and objectives and kill the bosses that drop in and spawn, and you're fighting Prometheans, Forerunners, and Covenant and stuff like that. It's just, it looks like a lot going on. I think that's what they're going for. And they said they balanced it out with the power weapons as well, so not everyone has a power weapon. You've got like a requisition order and stuff you can pull in and stuff like that. So that sounds really cool. I'm looking forward to playing a bit of that, you know, when Halo comes out, because like I said, I'll be getting it. And you know, Fallout are also, I think they're bringing out Elder Scrolls Legends, which is like Hearthstone as well, I think, for tablets. So that's cool. Another trading card game, which is fun. Sorry I'm not mentioning any Nintendo stuff. I'm not a big Nintendo fan. I know, can you believe it? but you know, I'm sure. I don't think they brought much out. I think they announced something with Star Fox Zero as well. Star Fox is cool though. I remember the 64 version. No Zelda, I don't think. A lot of Smash Brothers as well. I think they're pushing that game for like esports and competition wise as well. So it's sorry if I've missed any games, but there's so much stuff like got announced still. On the channel wise, the Order 1886 is almost finished. I think I've got 1 or 2 episodes left before the finale. I've got a bit more Bloodborne gameplay to put up, but I'm running out of things, so we'll be playing some new games. I got a few games on the summer sale, the Steam summer sale. By the way, the Steam summer sale is still on, so check out some good deals on there. I got some good games for like less than like £2 or £3 as well. I got Call of Duty World at War. If you're into like Call of Duty Zombies, get World at War on Steam because you can mod it and get like custom zombie maps and stuff that people have made. I think that's less than a tenner at the moment, which is fantastic. So that's what I bought. Betas and stuff. There's so many betas to sign up for as well, which is crazy. Like the E3 beta. I think everyone's learning not to just bring out a game before it's finished, like before it's tested. You're going to bring out, let the public test it, let the server stress test happen, bugs and iron out bugs and bug reports and things like that. So I think that's great that everyone's getting betas. Plus it gives fans like us early access to the game to try it out early before it's released, so that's cool. So yeah, if you guys have any games that you really want to see that you haven't got money for or you haven't got time to play that are out right now, then let me know. I'll try and get a hold of it and do some gameplay for you or a let's play. I'm thinking more horror games maybe. And then finally I'm going to leave you with this. Xbox owners, one of the biggest things that Microsoft brought out is backwards compatibility with your Xbox One. You can, by holiday, by Christmas, you will be able to play your Xbox 360 games on your Xbox One. And if your friends still play the 360 and they don't have a One, but you want to play with them, you can cross console, cross play. So you can play, say, Gears of War 2, for example, just using that, Gears of War 2 on your Xbox One with a friend who only has it on the 360. You can play online with them and you can talk to them online, which is the biggest thing Microsoft could have said. Sony haven't even got backwards compatibility. So they're more about streaming services at the moment, Sony, but the Microsoft, it's fantastic. Dashboard preview members, you can do that today. You can actually download a few games, not a lot. I don't think there's a lot on offer right now, but any games you purchased on the 360 you can download. If you've got them on disc, you'll put your disc into the 360, to the Xbox One, sorry. It'll read the disc and it'll download the game to the hard drive, and you can play your 360 games. Even with the dashboard and stuff, the 360 dashboard pops up and stuff, so you can use that as well. So yeah, I'm hoping I gave you a lot of info on new games. Maybe if you didn't see any E3 stuff, check out YouTube, just type any of these games and you'll get tons of gameplay and stuff, other people's reactions and things like that, my reactions and things. I hope you saw some good trailers and stuff as well today in this video. So yeah, E3, that was great. Better than last year I think, but I'm always hyped up for E3 anyway. So bring on Batman Arkham Knight next week, and everything else towards the end of the year. We're gonna have to save up some money. I can't wait for my Pip-Boy on my arm. So yeah, leave some feedback, leave a like or whatever, and I'll see you guys in the next video. I'm super excited. I'm hoping the combat looks better because in the gameplay it looks like the combat was like in the middle of editing myself. But yeah, the video for my Smash